Welcome to Conversations in Between the Realms, a podcast where the mystical meets the everyday. Join Amanda Nova and Beth Renov each week as we dive into the profound journey of awakening, sharing our experiences, insights, and the lessons that guide us toward our divine purpose. Together, we awaken and guide our souls and others, exploring the magic of living in the 3D while staying connected to the higher realms, embracing the challenges, and celebrating the growth. You've been guided here for a reason. Trust in the journey and let the unfolding begin.
Hello and welcome to Conversations in Between the Realms. I'm Amanda Nova and I am here today, as always, with Beth Renov. And we're going to be talking today about divine timing and signs, maybe when you don't realize they're signs and when they appear, and just how to really take it and kind of, decipher and let them lead the way. So how are you doing today?
I mean, I seem alive today, which is an improvement from last week.
Yes, you
And
were fully
despite the
dying last week.
Oh my God, last week, I mean, even watching, I was just like, I'm not even awake.
You were unwell. In the videos that you sent me to post, I was like, she's not speaking. She's just like nodding along, like, okay.
Yeah. No, I had a rough week last week. This week, much better, like light years better. Despite all the heaviness that's going on, like I do feel a shift. I feel more energy. Something like clicked in place, and I'm not exactly sure what. But I just noticed like my energy is different. Like yesterday, I was I've been really tired, but beyond that, like I feel like energy wise, I feel more focused. I feel more determined. I have that like little spark back, and I feel like maybe signs and divine timing are part of that. So very appropriate.
Yeah, definitely.
How about you?
Yeah, I think so. I think, very similar. Like, I think there was a huge, unleashing and download of high frequency energy last week that could really lead to a lot of physical symptoms and a lot of us, light beings feeling really, really awful and really shitty. And then, when that kind of passes and you are in a more upgraded, higher timeline, then, feeling that shift of like, okay, it's settled. I'm feeling better. Now I'm in this higher timeline. It's like, okay, like kind of figuring that out. So I feel like this week has felt more of a settling. It has felt like letting everything settle. It has felt a little bit quieter. It's felt like more of an integration, and definitely more of like, yeah, like figuring out what's next and clarity. I feel that as well. Like, I think I've gotten some like really interesting clarity hits this week that I haven't had in a while, and like some different directions and some different things that I like haven't been thinking about, like things coming up from the past. And I think timing, as we're going to talk about, like things that maybe I wasn't ready for before that I feel ready for now coming back up, which I think is really fascinating. So yeah, let's just like dive right in. So right before we hopped on, you told me about something that you found. Do you want to
I was
let
on my
us know?
walk so last week, exactly to the day, I was on this walk and like even that day, I think it was one of the first days I was like, okay, I have to walk like every day, and not just for like health. Like it is like my meditation. It's what makes me feel like so grounded and regulated. And I'm on a walk with my dog and I see this crazy feather. And like normally I'll see like white feathers or gray feathers. This was like blue with black stripes. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to send this to Amanda. Like this is something. But I like completely forgot because I just like went into like a spiral that weekend, and like I'm just coming out of it now. And like right before we got on, I was like, wait. Because we were like, what do we talk about? And I'm like, this feather has something to do with it.
Did you pick it up?
No, I'm afraid to touch like feathers
Oh my
because of
God.
like disease.
Oh my God, I would have pocketed that feather so fast. I like have like
But I'll
these
carry dog
feathers.
poop, but I won't
Yeah. Oh
touch
my
feathers.
God, I would have totally pocketed that feather. Oh my
I know I
goodness.
should have, but I don't know. I'm still like neurotic about that stuff. But
So
it was
it's
beautiful.
it's so meaningful because you just sent it to me. I looked at it. Okay, so I know everybody knows this about me. I'm sure that some of you hate this about me, but I looked it up into ChatGPT. That is what I do. Take a picture of it, send it into ChatGPT and say, "What is this feather? Is it real? Where does it come from?" So, it's a blue jay feather. It is real because when you see something that colorful, like I found a yellow one once and I'm like, is this a real feather or is it come off of a
Right.
costume? Like, what is it, right?
Right.
So they said that, because it had some black lines on it, you can tell that it's
Huh.
from a blue jay, which is very meaningful to us on the podcast because if you've been listening for a while, there's been a few times where a blue jay has flown in and we've talked about it,
Mhm.
right? And it's come in during channeling, it's come in during different moments, divine timing and divine moments where we've been chatting. So, super relevant to us. But what I didn't tell you was the symbolic and spiritual meanings. So, here's what it means: clarity and communication connected to the throat chakra. So, connected to speaking your truth. So, when we see something like that, it's encouragement to say something. Usually it means that we are holding back something that we need to say. Intelligence and discernment. Blue jays are known for their cleverness and their boldness. Boundary protection. They fiercely protect and defend their space. So it reminds you to be guarding your own energy. So you always want to, like, when you see a sign like this, like kind of look around, like where you are and what's going on. Or if it comes up again, right? Like it's like, okay, it's a reminder to guard your space. And lastly, this is the most interesting one: a messenger in between realms. In Native and
Mm.
Celtic symbolism, blue jays can signify divine messages or higher insight coming through the mental plane.
Wow. Holy crap, my legs are going nuts.
Mhm.
That was it.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah. And yesterday, I have two blue jays that are on my property. We see them all the time. And Rob saw them yesterday or the day before. And he was like, "Oh, the blue jays." And I literally said to him, "I think one of the blue jays is Joshoon because every time I'm channeling, it always appears."
Come.
Yeah. Or I
Mhm.
will be having some sort of moment and it'll be like I'll see the blue jay when I'm talking about something important. It's so, yeah, and now it's giving me like a chill, like a confirmation. Like it's, yes, the blue jays, I go crazy about the birds, but like the blue jays are really, really key. And my mom would say that they're nasty. My mom thinks they're nasty birds. She's like, they're nasty. But like I love them so much. And how cool is that? That's awesome.
That is so cool. And I felt like I needed it at that moment too. I might have even said like earlier, like, I need some sort of sign or something, because we were in the place where you're like starting to lose faith a little bit. And it was just like, and it's so funny because I do this so purposefully, and I've said it with you before. I'll see things and I don't do it right away for some reason. Like I could have texted you in that moment, but something in me like distracted me
Yeah.
on purpose. And I feel
Yeah.
like that was divine timing because we were supposed to talk about this right now,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And it's so interesting how divine timing works, and it's just always so dead on,
Mhm.
and I think it comes with a lot of negative emotions, and that's why people don't really think about it, because we are in such a culture of like immediate gratification, and I want what I want when I want it.
Mhm.
And I remember wanting I had completed all my hours for my LCSW, my clinical license for my social work. But I hadn't done it in the time frame that they wanted because I took a break because I had health issues. And I got so pissed off when I got that letter that I had to start over basically. And I like threw a fit. I remember I was at a wedding and I don't know why I checked my phone, but I just like had a meltdown.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this sucks. This is horrible. Threw my whole entire life off schedule. And it couldn't have been a better thing for me to do
Right.
because my experience like was so much better after, like, and I was so much more prepared to have my own practice, to really decide what I wanted to do. I would have thrown myself into a situation where I was so unprepared and not ready.
Right.
So that's just like one example where like we can't see it in the moment, but like really things just like are meant to happen at certain
Right.
times.
Yeah. And I think that's like the whole thing, right? Like it's hindsight is 2020. And like a lot of us, like, when you're looking back, you're like, okay, like this definitely happened for a reason at the right time. And I do think like those things happen, and it's taking everything as a sign, and the universe is guiding you. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was taking Aria to a yoga class, to a mommy and me yoga class, and we got lost. I was with my mom. It was a half-hour yoga class. We got off the beaten track. We literally got lost for 15 minutes, showed up 15 minutes late. We were fighting. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous. What is the purpose of this? And the person who greeted us ended up reaching out to me, and we've become friends. And like, we wouldn't have met if that didn't happen. And like, now we have become
Right.
friends and we have like a relationship. And she was like, if you weren't late, I wouldn't have been the person at the door. I wouldn't have seen you. Like, we wouldn't have started this relationship. Like,
Right.
we wouldn't have. And those are the things. It's like, if the universe didn't take me off track at that time, that like moment might not have happened, and maybe it would have happened at a different time. And so like, I do think there's like these divine timing of different things. And it's like the same thing with relationships. It's like, I want to be in a relationship now. I want love now. But then I think like, if my husband met me like 5 years before he met me, like, he never would have been with me.
Oh,
Right?
same. I was a freaking mess, and so was my wife. Like, we were like, if we had met earlier, we
Hmm.
would have probably hooked up and never spoken again,
Hmm.
because we were actually, I don't know, because I was so in the closet, I probably would have been like secretly like, she's cute, but like never did
Yeah.
anything,
You would have had a secret crush on her.
really. Exactly, and then, like, thought about it forever.
Hmm.
But, I really do believe in it. Like, this is a wild story, but my best friend from college, she was my roommate all 4 years. How we met is the craziest story. But she, was in Vermont. They had, I don't know if they had a house in no, Stowe, or maybe it was Mount Snow. I don't remember which one. But my best friend from home, like best friend since seventh grade. Her family was in Vermont too, skiing. And my best friend met a woman in the lobby who had a dog, and she was talking, and she's like, your dog's so cute. She's like, oh, she's like, how old are you? She's like, oh, I'm a senior. I'm going to college next year. And she's like, oh, my daughter is too. Where are you going? She's like, oh, I'm going to Syracuse. She's like, oh, my daughter got in early at Delaware. She's like, oh, my best friend did too. And she's like, oh, where are you from? And she's like, Livingston. She's like, I know one family there. I went to college with her, the Renovs. She's like, that's my best friend. She's like, oh, Wendy and I were like best friends in college. We were both married young. And meanwhile, we like connect later and like
Oh my
met
God,
and were
so
like
funny.
instant best friends. It was so
Wow.
crazy.
That's
Like,
so
and
wild.
that was such divine timing,
Yeah.
like
It's
that's
so
crazy.
it's so crazy. And I think, the thing too is paying attention to the universe speaking and being open to accept and pay attention. One of the things I think that happens a lot, and we're all guilty of doing this, I do this as well, is asking for a sign, and you're getting nudges and you're getting signs, but they're not the ones you want or as blatant or the answer that you want. So you're like, you keep being like, I want a sign, a signier sign, like I want a bigger
Right.
sign. Like, you're getting like the numbers, right? Like, or you're getting like, you open a book and like it's right there. It's like, hold on for the
Right.
perfect moment. You're like, F you. Like, this is not, but like the signs
Right.
are there if you're looking and you're open to
Paying
receiving
attention.
them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And even like, I'm going to this concert tonight and like, I, so this might be a little controversial, but I'm going to this it's at Webster Hall. First of all, I'm probably gonna be the oldest person there. But
You guys like are like music people.
well, Lauren won't go with me, but yes, we are music
Okay.
people.
I was gonna call you music heads because Aria says heads after everything. Like, she called my dad a jello
Like
head
deadheads.
yesterday. Yeah, like everything is heads. So just anyway.
Yeah. But so like no one wanted to go with me because there's just like all this political violence right now. She's Israeli. She has not said anything about the war. She's just an Israeli person who's a musician. And the fact that like I have to be afraid to go because there is a part of me like I've been like preparing like
Right.
things to like write to people just in case because people are freaking crazy right now, killing people for all sorts of reasons. Like whatever your feelings on this, like that is a reality. Is like people are scared to go to concerts now, and so last night I sold my tickets because I was like, I can't find anybody to go. I'm not going there by myself. That's just ridiculous. What am I be like hopping around, like looking at people and smiling?
Passing a
It's just not
joint to
right.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could be your mom. But I was talking to my friend and I had sold my tickets and my friend's like, I'd go with you. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you like her. She's like, I don't, but like, I'd go with you. Like, okay. So I went back on to go buy tickets. I used every one of my credit cards, my debit cards. It would not let me buy the tickets.
Oh.
And I'm like, is this a sign?
Yeah.
Like, should I not be going? Am I trying to force something that's not
Yeah.
supposed to happen? And she's like, should I try? I'm like, yeah, you can try. And it worked for her. And I'm like, is this a sign I'm not, like, am I ignoring something? Like, is the
Yeah.
universe trying to be like, Beth, like, we've tried in so many ways to tell you
Right.
not to do this.
Right.
And so now I'm like, is this fear? And like, actually, you've been posting like this, like anxiety or intuition. And I'm having such a hard time
Yeah.
deciphering that.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know if it's just fear or they're really like, I
Yeah.
can't tell you. I used 5 cards and I went online, I went on my app, and it was just like, nope,
Yeah.
you have to check. I sent her money. I obviously have money in my account,
Yeah.
so it's just like, that feels like a really blatant like sign of like,
Yeah.
maybe it shouldn't be going.
Yeah. And I totally get that. And I do that too. Like, if something is like not working or not going through, like I'll say it out loud too. Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to try this one more time. And if this doesn't work, then I'll know, like, I'll be like, just tell me. And it's the same thing with like any opportunity. Like, I'll be like, if I meant to do this, or like, if I meant to have this, like, it'll like work out. So I totally get that. And I think right now it's harder than ever to decipher that anxiety versus intuition. And that's why I wrote that article and why I posted that, because I think that is like such, I'm like, even, yeah, I'm getting like the ooze just like talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a struggle for so many people because there's so much fear right now. Like, and that fear
Yeah.
is heavy, heavy, heavy.
Right.
And, I think the biggest thing is like, you kind of have to like lift that to get into the present moment. And what I thought was so fascinating, or what I think is so fascinating about it, is like, the fear and anxiety is operating on an old program. It's operating from an old map, right? That's kind of like how it's being led. And it's operating in questions, right? So it's like, if you're thinking, what if I go there and something happens? That's the anxiety. Intuition is, I'm going to go there and something bad is going to happen. It's a statement versus a question. And like, that's challenging to kind of tune into. Yeah. Like, feeling the difference between the two of those.
Because I've always thought about it as like intuition is like, you don't have doubt, like,
yes,
it's just
clear,
kind of like,
it's statement. Yeah. It's not questioning.
And Right. And anxiety comes with all the and it's definitely anxiety for me, but, cuz like when I think about it, I'm like she just had like 40 other concerts and they were fine,
Mhm.
like but it's just like, well, now I am like
Yeah.
what if? And
Yeah.
to your point, it's the question,
Mhm.
right? And that's such a good way to decipher like
Mhm.
and make decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that also happens with divine timing is like what are you thinking in that moment?
Mhm.
Are you asking yourself a question, or are you feeling into something, right?
Right.
Like
Right. Yeah. And I think it's like it's kind of funny, to like I used to play this game when I was in high school with one of my friends. We used to call it the iPod game. And it was kind of like doing tarot or something or like Magic 8 Ball, but with iPod. So we would like ask the iPod questions and then whatever song came on, we'd be like, oh, it's the answer. And I will
I
never
love that.
forget one time like the song One Headlight came on, like we were like, how's our drive gonna be to like visit our friends in college, and it was like One Headlight, and I was like, oh fuck, this is not good.
Yeah. Did it happen?
No, it was not always that
Okay.
accurate. Like I was not tuned in at
Right.
that time, it was more like we were really
Right.
pressing it. We're like, oh, does so and so like me? And it would just be like, baby one more time, and we'd be like, oh, it's gonna like me again. Like it's so stupid. Like just really dumb stuff. But I think it's interesting, like the way that the signs speak to us. And we did the whole episode on signs and synchronicities. So, like, if you're curious about signs and you haven't listened to that episode,
Right.
like, definitely go back and listen. But in the way that, like, if you are having a question, the way that things can come through are like through music, like a song coming on, right? Or like you're reading
Right.
something and like there's different ways. So, like, it is kind of like in the right moment at the right time, what you're thinking,
Right.
what you're wondering, what you're saying kind of is also what makes it intuition. Cause like if you're not thinking anything or doing anything that's like relevant and then something comes through, like, yes, it can be a sign maybe if you asked for one the day before. But like if you're not, if you're not wondering how am I going to be at this concert and it just comes through, like, is it intuition or is it anxiety? Like that's also really hard to decipher too.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is like staying present, right?
Hmm.
Because when you're anxious, you are not present. You're like, oh, you're in the future,
Hmm.
you're thinking and you're so in your head. And I think sometimes it's not even if you've asked for a sign, it's just they might show up when you're really like torn between
Hmm.
something or you feel really stuck. Like your guides might come in, your ancestors, whoever it is, might come in and be giving you a sign,
Hmm.
right? But if you are not present in the moment, like have you ever like come across a post or read something and you're like, oh my God, that is exactly what I've been feeling. Like that
Hmm.
is a sign,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's just, and this is why we talk about like nervous system regulation all the time, is because you will miss so much if you're like constantly in the future thinking about what if, having that anxiety spiral or in this depression where you can't like see past like like you're in that narrow tunnel of like depression where you can't really see like turn your head either side. It's just like
Hmm.
whatever's right in front of you and feeling really stuck. So it's like really becoming present will allow you to notice signs and and maybe it's not so obvious like, oh, that's a sign like a freaking feather from a blue
Hmm.
jay, right? But it might just be something that you really need to be present for. And then it's like these little breadcrumbs
Hmm.
leading you to new things and to where you're supposed to be, to getting you on that path. And I think that's so powerful that just staying present can do that for you.
Right. Right. That's 1000% true. And I think that that's the main thing, staying present, staying grounded to be able to receive, be able to follow them when they're coming through. And yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense. I had something else in my mind that I was going to say, and now it's
Me too.
now it's gone. I
Me
don't know
too.
what it was.
That's so
It
funny.
disappeared. But we have so many distractions. And oh, I know what I was going to say. The other thing I was going to say was that it's also really hard right now because there's a lot of people on social media and, TikTok and Instagram who will be like, if you're seeing this, you're meant to see this. Like, that does not mean
Right.
that that's a sign. That's just somebody who's on
Right.
there trying to like
Right.
push that into your face. It's up to you to feel into yourself, be present in the moment, tune into your intuition, your voice, and be able to decipher what is a sign for you and what's not, what feels good for you and what's not. Because the whole thing that we try to guide and explain and teach is that the answers are within you. They're not without you. So we're not healing you. We're teaching you how to heal yourself, right? We're teaching you how to listen to yourself. So it's about listening to the inner guidance, even though that voice can sound like a whisper compared to an anxiety that's screaming, right? So I just wanted to kind of say that because there's a lot of people yelling in your face right now about like, this is a sign. You're meant to see this. Sign over here. And it's like, no, like, can't decide that
Right.
for me, you know?
Exactly. If you stumbled across them and something like hit
Sure.
and you felt this feeling, sure. But it's not because someone wrote it. You know, it's not outside of you. Like, and that's like we talk about how we used to go to psychics all the time.
Mhm.
And not that they don't serve a purpose, but I think you lean on that more when you don't have that internal like ability to have internal confirmation, right? And we're trying to teach you how to like understand that and tune into it because that is going to guide you everywhere. And yes, sometimes signs serve as like an external what is the word that I'm looking for? I guess it's confirmation.
Yeah. Validation.
Uh, Validation, thank you. Um you know that things are because we all need it, we're human, right? Like we sometimes we need that external force to be like, hey, you're on the right path, you
Mhm.
know, like, yeah, you're doing a good job, right? So it's not bad to have that, but really where you're going to find answers is within you because you have free will.
Mhm.
Like whatever someone tells you, you decide whether you want that or not, right? You're going to do that or not, or if that's true or not. So you have to like go deep within you and get really still and really learn how your body, how your soul talks to you. You know, and that is how signs are going to come through. And okay, so this was really interesting. Um and maybe this was the shift that happened. It came back what I was thinking of is the other night I was laying in bed and I really like just like wanted to go to sleep early, but I was really anxious. And I swear to God, I felt like hands like on me. And I just had this like deep calm and I like knew it was like the Archangel Gabriel. It
Mm.
was like the weirdest thing. Like I just saw green and I'm like, oh, he's here. You
Mhm.
know, like and that was a sign to me like you're not alone,
Yeah.
right? Like I really needed that in the
Yeah.
past week. Like you've sent me things where I'm like, God, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes like getting like if I had been distracted by TV and hadn't taken a moment to just be like, hey, just lay here. Like
Yeah.
you don't need a distraction every second.
Yeah.
Like I literally felt like it was almost like a hug, but like
Mhm.
it was like they were
Yeah.
calming like my heart space.
Yeah.
And at that and then I saw green and it was just like if I didn't do all the work to tune in to really understand these things, I would have missed that.
Yeah.
And that was something I needed that support in that moment. And I think that's the shift that kind of has gotten me to where I am right now
Mhm.
of feeling okay. Because when we are in those places of doubt and losing faith and just like real heaviness, it's really easy to feel isolated and alone. And sometimes what we need is just to realize there is support out there. We might not be able to see it, but like it's there. And if you really tune in, go to that dial, get really still, and you are going to see things happen and feel things that feel undeniable.
Mhm. Yeah, and they wanna help you. I mean, I say this to people all the time, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, your light beings that are around you, whatever it is, your soul family, whatever you call them, whatever you believe in, they wanna help you, so invite them in And, because they don't like to interfere. So if you feel like you're not really seeing signs, or you're really not getting anything, and you feel like you're kind of in it alone, invite them in, because they might just feel like, a little bit blocked out, and they are guiding you and helping you, but maybe they are not interacting as much as they can. So really invite them in. I always say, spirit guides, I welcome you into my life fully and freely. I say that all the time. I don't know how long I've been saying that. I've been saying it forever in my head. I say it all the time. Like, I say it at night. I just say it all the time in my head. It's like something that I've just been doing for forever, and, openly and freely, or something like that. And that's just something that I do to just like let them know that like they're welcome to come in. I trust them, for the highest good of all involved. And so it is. Like, that's it,
And so it is.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe if you feel like you've been missing them, like sit down at the end of the day and write down like what happened in that day that was like memorable, Because maybe one of those things was a sign. Now that like you could sit down, you're not in the day, and you can like reflect, maybe there's something that hit you, and like what stood out to you, because like is there meaning in that? How is there meaning you're making of it, right? And maybe that's how you can practice like getting in tune and noticing what could be a sign, because then in the moment when it does happen, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's it, I recognize that feeling.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. Making even like a list of it, and just
Mm-hmm.
noticing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that will really help you. And I think it gives you like a little boost of faith, and it helps you to keep going. It's so motivating. Like I feel like both of us at one point in the past few weeks were like, we're done, that's it.
I give up. I'm
Like,
over it. Hands up. Yeah,
right.
like every few days, I'm just like, I just am at the end of my rope, like so exhausted. I'm just like,
Right.
but you know what? It's the support is there. It feels like a free
Yeah.
fall sometimes, but it's there. And, again, like we're here to help you open these gifts. We're here to help you remove the stuff that, is blocking you from hearing that voice. We're here to help you listen in, to help you become present. That's what we do. If you need more support, come find us. If you're curious about signs and synchronicities, go back and listen to that episode. I think it was our
Yeah.
second or third.
Yeah.
So it was an early
Third.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and go back and listen to that. And otherwise, you know where to find us, and we're happy to help you.
Yes. Hit us up and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yep.
Have a great
See
one.
ya. Bye.
Bye.